Good morning, grade 7, 8. We've got a beautiful sunny Friday morning today. We got a new fractions lesson for you. Hopefully this one won't take too long so you can enjoy that beautiful sunshine. Grade 7s, you guys are continuing with adding and subtracting fractions that are mixed numbers. So again, if there's a bunch of practice questions there. It's from the same pages as the last math lesson, but they are attached at the bottom. If you need any help with that, make sure you send Mr. Roofer or myself a message. Grade 8s, we're looking at dividing fractions today. So if we look at a model for this first, here we have 4/5 divided by 1/3. So it says to ask yourself, how many 1/3 are in 4/5? Well, since 1/3 is less than 4/5, I know that there will be more than one in there. So if we draw some fraction strips to show this, here we have 4/5 and the top fraction strip, and then we have 1/3 below that. And what we've done here is we've divided it into sections that line up. So the common denominator, you don't need a common denominator to divide fractions, but to model it, it helps. If we divide each one into 15 sections, we know that every 5/15, which is the same as 1/3, is going to be a group of 4/5. So here we've written this out with our fractions. So we show the common denominator here. We've got 12/15 divided by 5/15. That's equivalent to 4/5 divided by 1/3. I'm looking right here. Okay. We just put the two numerators, the first one, over top of the second one, and it gives us our answer. Now that's shown as an improper fraction, so we always want to put that back into a mixed number. Well, in 12/5, there's two whole groups. That would be 10/5, and that means there's 2/5 left over. So our answer here is 2 and 2/5. If we look at our model again, here's one group of 5/5. Here's another group of 5/5, and then we've got these 2/5 left over. So that would be our 2 and 2/5. So we'll try this one. 3/5 divided by 5/6. So find the common denominator. That would be 30 for this one. So 5 times 6 is 30. So then 3 times 6 is 18. 6 times 5 is 30. So 5 times 5 is 25. So when I put the first numerator over top of the second numerator, I have an answer of 18/25. So that's less than one whole. And let's just make sure we have it in lowest terms. 25 only goes into 5, but 18 does not go into 5. So that is in lowest terms. So that's our final answer. Okay, there is another way to divide fractions, and this is the way that your high school teachers will want you to be able to divide them. It's called using the reciprocal method. We also call this the rule. So we have to understand what the reciprocal is. The reciprocal is the fraction that results from switching the numerator and the denominator. For example, 4/5, taking the reciprocal of that becomes 5/4. So when dividing fractions, multiply the first fraction by the reciprocal of the second fraction. So remember, multiplying is the opposite of dividing. So if we take the reciprocal of one fraction and multiply, that's the same as dividing by the original fraction. So here we have 7/8 divided by 2/3. I can change that to 7/8 times 3/2, and it will give me the same answer. And then we just use our rules for multiplying. I multiply the numerators. 7 times 3 is 21. I multiply the denominators. 8 times 2 is 16. So my answer is 21/16. Again, that's as an improper fraction. So I get that back to a mixed number. My final answer is 1 and 5/16. That is in lowest terms. So let's try this one. 4/5 divided by 2/3. So that is going to equal 4/5 times 3/2. Take the reciprocal of the second fraction. 4 times 3 is 12. And 5 times 2 is 10. So my answer is 12/10. And put that back into a mixed number. I've got 1 and 2/10. and I can put that in lower terms. That'd be the equivalent to 1 1/5. One more. Don't be fooled by the whole number as the second fraction. It's the same as saying 6/1. So this would be equal to 3/4 times the reciprocal of 6/1 would be 1/6. So 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 6 is 24. And I can divide both numerator and denominator by 3. That will be equivalent to 1/8. So there are some practice questions there for you to try this. Make sure you check your answers so you know what you're doing. This is a really important concept for high school because all of your high school math teachers are going to expect you to be able to divide fractions. If you need any help, send Mr. Roofer or myself a message. Have a great day.